All right. Hey, everyone. Hey, music producers and sound designers. Welcome back to the stream. Today, we are going to dive into looking at using Reaktor to create a killer bass. So, if you ever want to create a bass or sound design your own bass in Reaktor, this is the episode for you. So, in this series, we've pretty much been covering all different types of sound design, but the reason why I repeat them, some of them, is so that we can refine those sounds over time. So today, we're gonna look at designing that bass. So let's see. Let's see. We're gonna build like a growling bass today, and it's gonna use no samples and no presets, just the raw sound design. And I'm gonna show you how to do that in Reaktor with a blank patch. So let's start a timer in Reaktor. In Ableton, because I'm using this as my plugin to activate my plugin. So I'm gonna use a project timer. I'm gonna drag that in. That one is free in the Ableton. If you look online, I can actually link that in the description, or just message me and I'll give you a link to project timer. So when we go down here, I'm gonna open my version of Reaktor, and we are going to use this. Oh, freezing a little bit. Okay, we're good. So now, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to initiate my patch. So that's going to require me opening up and grabbing some blocks that I need. So I've gotten some basic blocks that I need, and I know I'm going to need an oscillator, filter, an amp, and I'm going to need an LFO. And yeah, that's all we need for now. I'm going to bring in one more thing. I'm going to bring in our trusty wave folder, which we talked about in another episode. If you look back, I think it was one stream back. We used the wave folder in a session to create a sound. So I'm going to use that again. So let's see. Let's try this wave weaver. Let's see if this will work for us. So I'm going to cook up my basic patch into my filter, into my VCA. And I do need an envelope. Okay, so we have that, and I'm going to turn it on. So we got some sound coming from our patch. So that's great. Now I'm going to just make it better. So let's see if we can integrate this. I'm feeding it through the wave weaver. Let's try another one. So I'm going to remove this one. And we have a wave fold. So right here. You can use that to make a heavier bass. So we've already got our oscillator in, and now I'm gonna bring in my LFO. So let's connect it to the FM. You can see what it does. That LFO movement is happening, so I can visualize that. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So you can see the wave is going undulating from wider to smaller, and we're going to control that with the LFO speed. So it's quite big waves. You can shorten them. Those are even bigger waves. Shorten them would be here. And then we can use our LFO to modulate a source. So how about we modulate our waveform? Slowly adding some movement, and then we can filter. Okay, so we've got a bass. That's definitely usable. So I'm going to now, let's see how much time has passed. So we're only like a few minutes in. We can check our timer, wherever I put it. So I threw it on that channel. So I'm going to bring it back here, and we're going to start it again. Okay, hit play. Make sure it's going. Yeah, okay. So we're going to use this to carve out a bass line in Ableton. So we're going to pick a key for that. I'm going to choose, just create a 4-bar loop. And let's choose a scale. So I'll probably pick like an F minor. So we're going to go here. And I'm going to carve that in. Let's see. Need some quarter notes. So we're going off basically just the raw sound we have. And I think if we add a little bit of movement to it, or a little bit of reverb or delay, it can add a little more, I guess, a little more intrigue to our sound. Because a lot of the sounds you create, you want to be a little bit inspired to create them when you create them. So I think I'm gonna add a little bit of reverb to this, because often that'll make you that'll give you some ideas. Okay. Let's go down an octave. Let's turn on the metronome. want to add another layer to this. Let's see. So I'm going to bring in another layer because I feel like it'll add another texture. So let's go back into our blocks. I'm going to bring in another layer on top. Just going to blend that in to our sound of our bass. Okay, again, we have to turn up the volume to make that work. I want this attack to be a little more subtle. And I'm going to fix the second oscillator. So this is oscillator 1. Oops. Copy that. And then that's 1. That's 2. Oh, we need a pitch control. I'm trying to make this sound a little bigger. Nice growl. I want to make sure I get a growl on it, so. This is at let's check the number. Hard to see that, but I can always ballpark it. Just want to hear the second sound. Whoops, there we go. I want a little more movement on it though. So I'm going to introduce that. Let's reset these LFOs. Really mangling that waveform. I'm gonna add a little delay on top of this because I feel like that'll add the final effect I'm looking for. Just gonna turn off that metronome for a sec. Just a little bit of delay. I don't like that, so I'm gonna keep it with the reverb. And there's our finished sound. So let's go ahead and save that. So got our sound, our little snippet. We can then play with that sound. Maybe add a filter. So I'm trying to introduce some movement to the sound. Oh. So I want one more thing. Just gonna go to the MIDI notes. See what we can do with the expression. Okay, we can go ahead and we can add whatever we'd like to this. I'm going to add in some kind of piano or drum line. So let's do a drum section first, and then that. Let me see. Okay. So we got a little groove going. So I'm gonna add in some I think some synths, more like a chord line. So let's see what we got. So I don't like this sound, so I'm gonna choose something different. So we're gonna go into our trusty chord creator. Thinking about some chords that we can play. So I'm gonna go into my handy dandy let's do some Captain. Hopefully it opens up. Do need to update it, but we can do that another time. Let's see if it works. Let's go. Let's get that volume down, and then oh, that's way too loud. Okay. That's not the right track. It's actually right here. Okay. Whoops. Okay, let's change the chords out. I want something minor. I need another sound. I don't think that's gonna do it. Let's see. Let's not pick a piano. I think some kind of synth would do it. Let's see. Let's bring in let's try bringing that into the timeline. Yes, we want to keep it as it is. And we want to play it from the plugin. I also want the other sections, so let's see. Let's just check our key again. Make sure it's correct. Should be on this bass part. Okay, we're actually in F major, F sharp major. So in the wrong key. Ah. So let's change the key. Gonna have to open another version. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's try it again. Let's bring this down here. Okay. Okay. Let's try another sound. Check the key. F sharp major it's saying. So this should also be matching. Okay, that's it minor. So we have to change this. Let's see if we can transpose this. Let's see. Let's try a different approach. So I'm going to keep this. start this over. We really want the bass line to be the focal point. And I want something that's going to be arpeggiated in the center. So let's try another sound. Analog V. See if you find a sound there that's going to suit what we need. Try another one. There we go. Something's going on with the plugin. We can audition some sounds. We'll come back to that one. Something longer, I think a longer tone, something with a longer sound. Okay, I'm going to tweak the sound a little bit. And then I'm going to mangle it a little bit more. So let's see what we can do. We're going to keep those sounds out. Bring them to the bottom of our track. I'm going to color these so they match. We don't need that piece. Just for clarity, we're building our sections. Kind of wanted them to match. So. I don't like that color. Let's do something that's visible. So, got that. This is our baseline. This is our next section, drums. I'm actually going to separate these sections so I have control over them. So I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to pull this out. We're going to first pause it. Yeah. Extracted that, so that's good. Bring down the volume. What we were at, -7.8. So we're at -7.8, and then gonna bring out the next part that I need. Which is this snare. So we know that this is that 808. Then we have this part. We're going to, that is a hat. We got our closed hats, and then let's check if there's any more parts left in this. Should only be one part in this section. This is how you get control of your drums. Just a quick little thing. Okay, we're going to extract this as well. And I'm going to name this. So this is first going to adjust the volume. Then this is perk 1. So I'm going to now group these because these are all drums. So just make sure. Did get them all. Let's group them. I like to make the group a little bit of a different color. You can kind of tell what the group is. That's not standing out. There we go. Okay. Gonna bring this down to the bottom. Or we could just... There we go. Now we got our separate parts all in one group. Okay, so all of this, I'm gonna mute it out. So I do hear some humming. So that's the... Okay, so I gotta print the spectral blur. Let's... Okay, so we should be good now. Okay, I'm gonna add one more effect to this. I think we want it to pan across the speakers just slightly. Okay, so we got our loop going, added some dynamics to our track, and took our Reaktor, or took our patch and made it into a track. So I took that bass line from a Reaktor patch that we built and created something out of it. So as you can see, it's very possible to create something out of your sound design, and we did just that in a few minutes. And you can see it's creating kind of a complex waveform, not just a basic sine wave. So we just add one little lead line. We can call this pretty much done. We look for a strong lead. Okay, so we added something. Just gonna shorten that note just a little bit. Excuse me. All right. So I'm going to make that pop out a little bit more because I like that little motif that's going on. So I'm going to grab my little EQ, create some dynamics. I actually need that for my master. Put the limiter on the master. I'm going to take my, actually need that for my master track as well. Some multiband dynamics. Going to add a little color to it. So this analog. I don't like the distortion it's adding. So I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to add, let's see if we can color it. I'm going to make it a little bit too much distortion. So let's try it again. I want to sweeten the sound a little bit. Try some EQ. Gonna add a bus. Want it on that kick sound we have. Looking for it. And this sounds like a little like a razor blade, almost. That lead. So I'm going to add a little automation here for that bass line. I want it to dive up a little bit, so I'm going to, or drive upward. Oops. There we go. It didn't work quite the way I wanted it to. No. Okay. So we're going to scrap that idea. A little bit late on the second time through. So hold on that option, move it just where you want it to be. That is not quite where I want it to be. Okay, I like that better. Okay, let's just see what it looks like without this section in the beginning. I gotta see that from the beginning. What part was this? Okay, this is nothing, so. Okay. Bring the volume down. So we created our loop, and hopefully you learned something from this session. And yeah, we created our loop using Reaktor to create that bass line from our patch and sound design it from scratch. So that's really useful. You can always reuse the patch that we created here. And if you'd like to dive deeper about learning about modular sound design and synthesis, be sure to check the link in the description for more information on my sound design course. And hopefully you can keep sound designing, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Peace out.